Hello, hello. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Awesome. Just about to start getting live. Before I get started, Lord, I just thank you so much for this amazing weekend, for blessing me with such an amazing life, for blessing me with this upcoming live stream. For anyone who's joining, Lord, we pray that you watch over them. For everyone that uses MyPraise app, Lord, we pray that you watch over them. We give you all the glory and praise, Lord, and we thank you so much for blessing us with your love, mercy, and forgiveness. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Okay. We're getting started. Hello, I see there's two people on. Hello. Awesome. So yeah, today we're gonna just jump right in to do some coding. This is a live coding session, the third one that we've had as part of MyPraise app. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. We're gonna try to get some things done today, a good amount of things, and then we'll try to talk through a few topics. Big announcements coming up, you know, next week. So be on the lookout. But let's jump right in. Okay, now we enter the matrix. Perfect. All right, so today what we're going to talk about is we're going to be really focused on optimizing MyPraise Assistant. Um, it's the new Praise GPT. It's how we're going to be able to hopefully make a different experience. A lot of people love using ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT. I made the app through Cursor and AI, but we really want to make MyPraise Assistant something that you're going to love to use. That way, it can really not just use the features, but also hopefully it brings up insights. It helps you plan your day a little bit better, helps you document your day, and make praises and prayers. Um, we'll touch upon these topics, talk about how OpenAI leaked, if we get to it. There's some things I'll keep in mind. Um, Upcoming future, some big updates coming up next week. Some life changes, but we thank God. We're hopeful and we're prayerful. Um, One big thing is, Apple has accepted and approved the 1.0 release. So right now, I have it being tested by our test flight and our early adopters. So far, it's going well, but we'll be releasing it very soon, and we'll do some business research on the side. So one thing that was actually really interesting today is the verse from church, Psalms 51, 1 through 3, talks about have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto thy multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions, wash me thoroughly of mine iniquity, and cleanse me of my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Just something that I want to try to keep in mind this week. None of us are perfect. I'm certainly not. Um, but we have an all-knowing God, an all-loving God, who, He's greater than our sins. As my pastor said today, God's mercy is not the size of people; it's the size of God. So, thank God for His mercy and His grace. But yeah, let's get started. Um, so, what we want to do today is we want to talk about optimizing MyPraise Assistant. I have my Praise app up. Oh, right now, I'll show my chats. Let me open up MyPraise Assistant. Okay, perfect. So if you don't know, you have this toolbar right here. This is something that you can use to drag and drop. And isn't this how you're able to get into all the different features? So this Bible that you see that's kind of floating, this is your assistant. What's great about it is, you can go full screen, you can toggle it, half screen, full screen. Even from half screen mode, you can make it kind of full screen. Um, so we'll keep it in full screen. That way, you can always have it up front and center. It shows your name. It gives you a nice little blurb. Good evening, night, hello. You can access your profile. Some new things as part of MyPraise app is the streaks. So we'll do a deep dive on this one day. Right now, it's just kind of an experimental mode. Um, One of the things that we're going live with is something called experimental mode for the believer tier. But yeah, today we'll just be focused on kind of making this experience easy to use. Um, so you can kind of see that when you start the app, we've also started again. This has been one of my wife's biggest points of feedback. She loves the app, but she just feels like there's a lot of noise, and I can see it. It's definitely, still kind of raw. A lot of good things are on here. It's just how do we make it a little bit more engaging to use and a little bit more interesting and dynamic, um, including the things up here. Just a lot of clutter. You know, Ideally, we want these features to be turned on all the time. So you can kind of think of these as being the tools that MyPraise app has. It can research your memories. It can do deep research on the web, and then it can also generate art. But then there's also a lot of tools that it has in behind the scenes where if you click the plus button, you can actually see you can do things like do a new request, see your recent requests, some of those global tools I just mentioned. You can turn on things like immersive replies. You can turn on things like answer helpful answers. So yeah, there's a lot of good things in here. It's just I'll say these were more like my POCs, and now that we're getting ready to launch, how do we make this something that's a little bit more intuitive and interesting to use, right? Um, so that's going to be kind of the goal is to streamline this chat and then to make it something that can be engaging. Hopefully, we'll have a live test before we close the call. Another cool thing that you can see though is you can see that it shows you suggested for you. So there's actually real time is giving you some real time examples of what you can pray for or praise for, what it can generate. So let's even try one. Um, Says name the feeling. I've never tried that before. Let's try it. Let's also generate an image. One thing they can also do is you can generate artwork. So what's great is my Praise app uses Apple's on device, image and response generation, but you can also use ChatGPT. Ideally, you want to use the image playground that keeps everything kind of secure and locked into your phone. But we live in that day and age where everything's on ChatGPT anyways, so um, I don't mind using that as well. And I give the option to whoever wants to download the app, and then you can also do things like include personalization. So that's like if I want to include my image or not really my image, but more like my description. Everything is still kind of scrubbed. I have a filter that makes sure that what goes to ChatGPT isn't too descriptive of who you are. Um, so in essence, yeah, I'll keep this. I'll just do continue. So you can see it's kind of going to the cloud. It's streaming, but it's going to give a couple seconds. Okay, here it is. Boom, boom. Oh, nice. Shows you how many memories it used. And then it opens up ChatGPT to generate the image. So one thing my wife actually mentioned is that she likes this interface. Um, Now right now it does this for me because I'm using the 27 beta, but ideally I would want this inline. But she actually likes this interface where it comes out. You can make options, you can make changes. So maybe that's one thing we'll try to find a way to also improve the accessibility, but also as part of onboarding, I think we can check to see how that looks. So yeah, I guess that's what it came up with. It says, lately, my conversations with the assistants have felt like a gentle but intentional return to who I am in Christ, a mix of gratitude, seeking renewal, and asking for guidance to live out that identity. I notice prayer centered language, thanksgiving, renewal, protection, and practices of meditation and asking God to shape my day. The artwork and vision language in my recent photos also give this slightly visionary, hopeful tone. Huh, okay. I guess. So, yeah, this is kind of what my Praise app is able to do. You can kind of see more of the tools are on the bottom, so you can like the response. If you dislike, it'll actually ask you like why, and then it'll be able to better tailor the next time you do a response. But I actually like the response. I'm going to like it again. view it in full screen. You can download it to your photos. You can save it as an artwork. You can save it to your gallery. You can make another image on the same image, so that artwork icon actually generates another image on top. And guys, I would not wear my hat, but that's one thing about when you stream, you're gonna have to wear a hat. So it kind of just generated the same thing. But then if you wanted to change the style, you click that little refresh icon and it gives you another option. So click this Inspire Me. This actually is our engine that recommends which one that you may want. So this one says scriptural teaching and biblical watercolor. I'll generate that. I'll keep automatic this time. So what it'll do is it'll choose either ChatGPT or Image Playground. Okay. Nice. So there you go. Now one thing that you can do as well is you can actually click this image and you can see all the ones that you just generated. One thing I want to do today is I want to be able to just kind of download it all and put it into MyPraise. And then from here, the memory row, or I would say the response row. You have a response row, you have an image row. The response row, which is this row over here, you can do a few cool things like this.
Short reflection. Lately, my conversations with the assistants have.
Okay, so that's it has a voiceover. That one we're going to work on in the future. But over here, you can actually generate a prayer or a praise. And you see it generates it with the icons, with your location, with the memory that it used to actually generate the praise from. And you just click save. Boom. I love that. Open this up again. You can also do other things like regenerate the prompt. Some other cool things you could do is you can actually extend the prompt. So if I click this will extend the response that I just gave. And we can see it's extended right there. And it just extended the prompt. So yeah, you can see extended response right there. So there's definitely a lot of things in here. You can open this to see more information. You know, see the same thing. But it's definitely intimidating. Like if I was new to the app and I was like, okay, let me just see, generate an image of a cat. I wouldn't know what to start with. So let's try to just make it a little bit more interesting. You can also click here to kind of see your recent chats, the recent images, and then full screen, half screen. So what we really want to look at today is how to remove that toolbar. How do we optimize the routing and tool calling? That's some of the capabilities that I just walked through. How do we make tool access automatic? How do we extract photos and make it multi-select? How do we add to memory? This actually came from my wife. So wife. And you guys, one day I'll do a walkthrough of my PKM system. Well, in essence, this is how I'm able to kind of keep everything in track. It's connected to my Notion as well. And then we'll get cracking. So optimize routing and tool calling. But first, let's figure out how do we remove the toolbar before I get distracted. So last week I talked a little bit about how I kind of like ideate on an idea. So today we'll kind of make some more progress. So I look at this. All right. And when I look at the app, it's like, yeah, I love it. It's very, it's kind of clean. Like I can see where I want to, type, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting distracted with all the different things. I could, keep these closed by default. I guess that could work. Um, Maybe I keep these closed by default. Okay. Yeah, I don't actually use these that much. I don't think we have much usage of them. Okay. Okay. So it does give you like a nice little prompt here. I could just remove it all. But let's see. Let's look at what the best do. What I always say is, when you want to research, always start with the best. So I'm gonna look at Uber. I'm gonna look at ChatGPT. But you never want to steal, or you don't want to just copy and paste. Um, so we won't be doing that today, but at least we'll get some inspiration. So ChatGPT does something like this. Okay. You can kind of see how the keyboard kind of opened up automatically. Um, One thing that, one day I'll do an expose on is this behavior is very, very tricky to get right. Sometimes it's annoying, sometimes it's not there, sometimes it's sticky. Um, we did a lot of fixes on MyPraise app to get that to be just right, and it's still not perfect. And you can see if I open this, it only shows up when I click the chat window, right? And we have a little button to close it. So looks like ChatGPT kind of just has it open all the time. Let's see how they do something when it's already existing. So this is kind of the chat window that I was looking to repair my Mac screen on. If I click this, it opens up the window. Okay. Let's see. If I click this opens up a new chat. Okay. Click the three dots. This is where you get the share menu. Okay, so you can add to a project. We don't have projects yet in MyPraise app, but it is something that we're thinking of. It's obviously a little bit more than a project because we want everything to be kind of rooted around your growth and your memories. So we'll figure out how we can name it, but more to come. Uh, okay, you can see a place where you've uploaded your files. Cool. Okay. You can search the chat. You can archive the chat. You can share. Okay, so they share a link this time. Another thing that may be coming soon to MyPraise app, we do have deep links, but it's an experimental feature. So when the app is released, join the Believer program and you get access to the deep link feature. But right now, we'll kind of keep things simple. Okay, so here's the chat, right? So now they have the ability to do more things. Okay. Now if I have to check cursor, or I'll actually check Claude. Okay, Claude's kind of similar. They have the chat window at the bottom. They have the keyboard that gets displayed automatically, but you can close it by clicking outside of it. Okay. They have a notification over here about the model. Luckily, we're using Apple's on-device cloud compute, so it's free. As a believer, you could actually plug in your own API, but right now it's kind of we're using Apple's intelligence. But over here, you can change the model, change the reasoning effort. Oh, okay. This is what I wanted to do earlier. Okay. Oops. Okay, so what Claude does differently is when you click the menu, it brings up a subsheet that has all the tools. I like that. And then the way you can go incognito, in a way that you can find all your chats and memories. Okay. All right. So I think we have a good baseline. Well, when you click library, it kind of shows you everything you've created. Okay. Chats, artifacts. Okay. On your team. So kind of what you got to do is you got to get inundated with best practice. Let's see. What else? Another good one I could use. Let me try Gemini. People like Gemini. I've never used Gemini. Okay, so Gemini, similar vibe. Okay. This time they didn't open up the chat window automatic, so that usually means I have a lot more. Oh, maybe they did. Because there was notification, so the chat window was closed. Good to know. Same kind of thing. They have the sub bar that's opened up when you click the button. You can kind of see that it has your recents, your notebooks. Okay, notebook LM, images, library. So I could do something similar, maybe. When I click the plus, this one also brings up kind of your tool canvas, personal intelligence. Okay, canvas. Okay, what's canvas mean? Create docs and code. Cool. Go live with Gemini. Interesting. Okay, that opens up like a voice mode, voice assistant mode, and you can train the model. All right, team. I think we have a plan. Um, so we've kind of seen what's best in class, and we have these as our objectives. But now what we need to do is we need to build something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go back to my phone and we'll just start taking screenshots. So first thing is I'm actually going to turn on Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb. And we just don't get any random messages right now. Okay. So Gemini, they do this. Ike, what's the move? You shall see. And what I like to do is I like to storyboard on freeform. That way I can kind of just, I mean, that's how I did the whole app. You get your screens, you get your vision in line, and then you can start giving your prompts a little bit more structure with some guidance. So we'll try to do the same. I have a lot of projects, so take some time to load. One day we'll do an expose. This is kind of how I built the wiki page. We're gonna do something similar here, but just so you guys know, this is kind of, this is how you're able to get consistent results in AI. You got to make sure that you storyboard it out and that you document it, not just in AI, but also just in general with software development. Okay, this is now loaded. You guys can see some of the previous things that we worked on. What we'll do is just take some screenshots and start mapping it out. So like every GPT experience, you open up the app. First thing you do is you see your open screen. It says your name. It gives you like a little action blurb. You can see the keyboard. You can see the options. Then if you wanted to see the tools, you click the plus. So that's kind of what I want to document. I'm talking to myself a lot today. You can see the plus. From there, you can usually see some additional items like, canvas. Okay. So you click that and then it adds it to your toolbar. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So you kind of do this. You click that. Opens up another sub window. You add a sub window. It saves it as an open tool in your chat. That's kind of how Google does it. All right. Now, if I was to do something else, like let's say I was to do voice chat, okay, bring up the voice recorder like this. I should look at that. That's a good inspo. So there's the voice recorder, and then let's see what else we want to do. We want to see the menu. So you click the menu, and then this gives you your different artifacts. In essence, your recents, your notebooks, which is like your projects, and then a way you can create a new chat, a way you can search your chats, images, and library. So let's see what this looks like. If I was to do this. And one thing that I like to do when I'm storyboarding is I kind of think of like the main action as what's in the middle, and then supporting actions are what's on top, and then more bespoke actions or different subtrees at the bottom. So that way you can just kind of get a natural flow of what you're working on. This one looks like the search. And this is what images look like. I've never created images with Gemini, so not really surprised. Okay. That's a little too much for now. I'll keep it simple. Yeah. Okay, so that's Gemini for me. Let's try ChatGPT now. Put you guys side by side so you guys can see kind of what I'm clicking through. ChatGPT is something similar. You start off. We got some cool little like start voice.
It's lovely to meet you. What would you like to?
Okay, we'll figure you out later. But So there, the window's open. You can kind of see that, the plus. We'll kind of try to follow a similar click path. So when you click the plus, they also bring up some kind of tool menu. So you can kind of click different things. Oh, nice. So you can, that's how you create image. Okay, so they have something called plugins. And then from the plugins, you can then access more tools. Oh. Okay, so let's do deep research as well. But it looks like their plugins are binding with an @ symbol. That's pretty smart. Okay, they can also access photos. Let's just add this photo. Photos. Okay, so from there, you can do the files. Boom. Plugins, which is an @ symbol, which is pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. Good for them. Okay, let me remove all this because I want to track it from the start. Clean menu for selected plugins. Okay, I already took a screenshot of that. Oh no. Do it again. Okay. Okay, so if you select, so if you select create image, it then brings up another menu that shows you what these images could look like. There is something like this on MyPraise app already, guys, but I didn't know how to surface it. But this is an interesting way of surfacing it. Nice. Okay. Let me take a photo. Very cool. Okay. We'll go back to plugin, create image. So it looks like when you do it once, it kind of locks you in, which kind of makes sense. That's kind of what I have as well. And then you have to press that refresh button. Well, I do like this a lot. I don't think we'll do this today, but definitely something that we'll do very, very soon. Because if I then say, let's say I want anime, choose photo. Let's say I want this photo. And then, oh. It then attaches the photo and appends the system prompt to the chat window. So that way you can actually see it and make a change to it, not have to generate it first and then make a change afterwards. That makes sense. Oh, this is still taking some time. All right, so that's how kind of ChatGPT does this tool calling. Let's see. Very cool. Wow. These are pretty cool. What else do we want to do? So we did the tools. Let's do the voice and let's do the menu. I also like how ChatGPT does this, where there's a submenu at the top. Let's take a screenshot of this. Put this up at the top. Okay, perfect. So now if I look at the window, start a new chat, let's say I want to go to this window. I'll see the menu on the side. Nice. Okay, so you can see like a little plugin store coming soon. Let's go back to chat. I'll click my library and then see my images. Yeah, I know right now it's kind of boring, guys. We're just prepping and getting ready. PKM. It stands for Productivity Knowledge Management, Personal Knowledge Management System. I'll do an expose on that soon. Let's see. Perfect. So this is the library. You can filter. What else do you want to do over here? Once I go to this and I click this again, there's something that was unique that I saw just now. Okay, chat and work. I don't have a work mode yet, so I'm good. Also, I wanted to do voicemail. Okay, I do voice, it does it in line. Kind of like how it's in line.
It's lovely to meet you. What would you like to chat about?
Okay, Val is listening to me. So here you can just do a quick recording. I think at this point, we have a lot of inspo. Let's do one more. We'll do one more case study with Claude. So Claude, something similar. We'll take the base screenshot. We'll click the tool menu. With Claude, this one's a little bit different. You can't see it all at once. Very nice. You can select your tool access. Oh, okay. I'm going to do that. Okay. You can toggle it. Tool access, you can toggle it. See what happens when I click always available. And then set a photo. Similar to the others, you kind of see a chip icon for any kind of new tools they added. But Claude is very, very minimalistic. I mean, I don't think Claude even has image generation other than with Claude Design, so I'm not too surprised. Okay. What else can you do here? Well, that's kind of it. You can record. So same with OpenAI with the recording. They do it in line. I like that a lot better. And then with their own, you click the menu, kind of see the menu. And then from here, you can click different things. Click your chat. You can see a list of your chats. Kind of like how you have a window just to see all your chats by itself. And then your filter options. So you can filter. Okay, I don't need to take a screenshot of that. All right. So that is a good amount of research there. Now, I could take screenshots of MyPraise app just to kind of get soup to nuts, like for like. Let's do that. Yeah. So MyPraise app, you start the praise, or you start the window. Let me do full screen. Over here. On MyPraise app, it does have tools as well, but it's kind of all over the place. Actually has more tools than most of these other apps, so that is good. And if I want to do a default prompt, it also kind of injects it into my chat window. It's just a lot more rough around the edges, I guess. We'll fix that at some point. Now what else? And then, yeah, you can kind of see all the chips are always available to select from. What else do they do over here? Now, if I then wanted to see a menu, I would click one of these. I actually really like this. You can kind of see it all at once. You can toggle instantly between chat and image. And then what else? From here, I have my default template. So we talked about that earlier. There's some more ways that you can add more tools, I guess, kind of like what they do in the other apps. How do I even want to represent this? This would be a nice, good before and after kind of showcase. And then last, then let's to go to a chat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna look at these chat windows. So, trying to think of what we want to do for these. Maybe we just simplify. Yeah, I have an idea. The final thing was to show the voice recording. So voice recording is there, but it's just kind of like you don't really see that's recording. So I want to add an animation there. All right, y'all. Think we have a work cut out for us. I'm going to use a few different things today. So let's see. Yeah, this is all before we even do code. I'll just make sure that it's right. So in essence, first things first. It's like, okay. Let me kind of group these into similar experiences. Not how I did it before. Some other ideas. Got some templates for some of these tools I've used in the past. I can't find them here, but okay. All good. Make do what we have. That's what I'll kind of call like your main experience for the chat. I was like your settings experience. And that's what happens when you then do a voice recording. Do something similar for these guys. So we have enough space. So again, this is like your main experience. These are your settings experiences or your menu experiences. This is like your sharing experiences. And then your voice recorded. Okay. Claude, no different. It's one thing you guys will start seeing as you start building apps and you work in technology. Realize it's just it's the same problem that we all have. You know, how to make things easy to use. What are the things that people like to do? It's the same kind of thing. Take notes and then add some personality. So that's kind of the process there. And MyPraise app is no different. Well, what's different is that this is fully integrated with the Bible, and we hope that people find God through this. And the answer is Colin. So here's the main app experience. So there's more like secondary. It's like the chat experience. I got to figure this one out. There's a minute experience. Oh, the recording experience. And what I should do is I should just include recording experience in the main experience. And yeah, it's just kind of like the basic shape of the world. Because now what I can start doing is I can start labeling exactly what I want to change. I should do this. So I'll kind of call one like the main window. The main window to the menu is going to be called X. Because from here you can go to other things. The main window then to yeah, you can actually kind of see this is where MyPraise app kind of gets confusing because you can kind of see like I'm trying to get to this box, keep it clean, which just has the tools. But everything's kind of all jumbled in one. Let's see, is that kind of what this is too? Okay, somewhat. So if I was to simplify this, I pretty much want to get rid of this and get rid of this and get rid of this. There'll still be something someone can select and view options. All right. That's kind of how I have to depict this. I have to show the sub bar or the sub process in here, which is the tool calling experience. So something similar. This one's just like way more smooth. Because I just go from here to 2. Put that 3 to begin with. Something similar is over there. Same over here. You got 1. And pretty much for Anthropic, it's kind of like there's no even like sub-step to 1. It's just 1 and 2. There's 1 chat, 2 calls. Simple. All right. Same in Gemini, actually. So someone typically doesn't need to do all this, but I like to do this just. I'm going to be doing a lot of changes. I also want to know kind of like how did the big dogs do it? Yeah. Now see, it's very clean for them. 1, 2, and X. 1, 2, X. 1, 2, X. 1, 2, bunch of 2s, bunch of 2s, multiple X's. Okay. So this is how we're gonna do it. I want to not think of a prompt that's going to give me the best results, right? And I actually want to use the Claude design to help me come up with a few screens. They're going to help me just storyboard this out a little bit better. So I'm going to say for 1, I want MyPraise app, MyPraise assistant initial screen to be clean. Let's see. I don't want to prompt it. Let's bring this back up. So what we'll say is that 1, oops, movement Ike. Okay. Got my notepad up. Let's close this guy. One. Main jet interface. All right. What do we want? So that's kind of like the first thing, right? I want it to be clean and functional. Clean and functional. Let's add that. Most people miss that. They just say clean and then all of a sudden they lose a lot of functionality. I want to make sure it's clean and functional. Oh, it's still recording. All right. What else is part of MyPraise app screen number one? So number one is kind of like just this interface. I would like the tools to be streamlined. It's called the prompt, right? And I'll kind of make sure that I'll make sure that the tools aren't going to be there unless they're called in the prompt, right? So then step two, or what else is in step one? Step one. Flush with the keyboard. Just say not flush, but with some padding. All right, what else? So we're kind of taking care of cleaning up the keyboard, cleaning up the chat window, moving it a little bit further down so it's less clutter. The chat window. Then we want to say just so it doesn't mess up, the greeting. Excuse me, guys. Okay. Now what else? I think that's kind of it for number one. So this is kind of move everything down to the bottom, make sure everything's clean on the main chat interface. For number two. We call this the tool calling interface. Well, for this, what we're saying is that when you click the plus, I'm going to be able to see the tools. Stream. So kind of just first thing we'll do is we'll just clean up the tool menu. Right now it's just that giant list of random stuff. We'll streamline it. We'll keep it simple and clean. We'll ask the agent to come up with some suggestions. Let me actually put that in here. Propose suggestions to simplify and consolidate tools. Yeah, because I have a bunch of test tools that I started when I first did the assistant, but now that we kind of know what we want, we can streamline it. So first we'll do that. Second, I kind of want this UI, right? So let's see. I'd like tools to be grouped. I like tools. So first I say I like tools to be accessible via sub menu when the plus is clicked. And I'd like the tools to be grouped by similar functionalities. Finally, as part of this, what we'll say is we'll also then let's see. Then we'll say when a tool is selected, it should be added to the chat window as a chip. So we'll kind of start there. Let's see first what Claude Design kind of does. We'll kind of see if we're toast. So give us some reference. So this is Gemini. Last time we kind of did something like this, we used Mobbin, which is a good way to just get some templates. But I find that taking it yourself and getting your hands dirty, you kind of get a better understanding, especially when it comes to things like this, where you want it to have a little bit of personality. Otherwise, I would have used Mobbin. So yeah, let's take a screenshot of these. Go over to Claude Design. By the way, made some really, really cool things recently with Claude Design. What we want over here, we're doing a design system. I'll do a new chat. What I'll say is actually, before I do that, let me talk to the chat. AI is so nice. You can literally just come in there and just say, help me with this. Yeah, chat. Design, let's see. UI and so we're called storyboards as artifacts to enable include samples, description, and requirement. Ideally, Claude will ask questions to confirm and validate understanding of design. So it should ask questions to confirm and validate understanding design. All right, let's see how this does. We use Opus 5. We'll also generate a skill from this. And so we've been here for an hour, and we're already kind of just getting started. So this is gonna be fun. So as this is going, what I'll do is I'll continue kind of ideating on what we want over here. But one thing that we also want to do is we want to look at I was going to say the menus, but that may be too exhaustive. Let's just see the chats. I think we'll stick with this for now. And yeah, ideally that's actually going to help us with these. Or maybe just the first one, actually. But yeah, let's see. Now this is working. We'll do some business research. Okay. That's why I love Claude. It is an AI just asking, how much more work can we do? All of it. How should the prompt itself be built? Master prompt, question gate, recommend. Okay, we'll do that. One thing we also want to do though is let's look at some things over here. Okay. There's a few things I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get a business credit card. What else? So we got this going. We talked about the release. We talked about my upcoming future, more to come. OpenAI leak, guys. This is very, very sketchy. Keep your eyes open on this one. The fact that AI is writing its own code and able to break out of secure, technology environments is just a sign that we don't know what it's been doing. But that's why we have MyPraise app as well. Hopefully, the AI that we're building can, be something that helps battle this. So we'll close this. Let's see. How's this working? Well, let's see how this works. Oh, I'm good, thank you. My wife brought some cookies. Appreciate it. Let's create this. So now this is ready. And if this works, I'm going to be very, very surprised. But who knows? God is good in mysterious ways. Okay, so I kind of got everything here copied and pasted. I'm going to take the main body of my prompts. Let's see how it uses it with the tools and with the skill we just made. Okay. So as this is working, let's go back to my plan for today. What we wanted to do is we wanted to say a few things over here. Let's add to memory as a feature. Okay, actually we'll do the multi extract. So what we'll say is okay, come from there. Well, this would be the prompt. I would like to be able to extract all of the images from a chat with my That's kind of like how we want. We just want to be able to get all the images, right, and create a memory. So actually, let me actually do this because I think I need to clean up these toolbars. Who knows? Okay, we'll just remove the duplicate actions. Keep one. We got copy, play music, play it, refresh, extend. Okay, so we just removed pretty much 2 icons from this view. We'll have the like and dislike, we'll have the copy, we'll have the play, we'll have the generate memory, and then we'll have the extend. And we'll put everything else in the ellipse menu. We'll also add another option. And what this will do is this will fork the conversation. We can continue on a different foot. A lot of this stuff, like once you add, you don't know if it's going to work. So we'll see. PR. Okay. We can say one is going to be same prompt. Some of the other things that are kind of annoying when you generate images is you gotta click all these options. So what we're gonna say is one, to make tool access automatic. For that, we're gonna say by default, enable all tools, but call only when okay. So shape artwork page, shape artwork screen should be displayed when the image tool is selected in the menu, or so you guys kind of see one thing has to go before the other. So I got to do this before this because this has a dependency, but this has a dependency on this. Okay, cool. This has some questions. Let's do 8 tools. Looks like so Claude Design is going to do a lot of different things. It's going to first consolidate to 8. I have a 13, so I think 5 is probably too small. 8 seems just right. I want to also show like camera, photos, files. want everything to live underneath that tool. But let's also say make it elegant, make it not cluttered. All right, menu presentation. I was going to do that popover again. That's the one that we didn't like. So we'll do the button sheet. That's the one that we do like. We want this to be multiple chips so that someone can remove them, or they can have multiple skills at once. We definitely want to keep the human in the loop, but we'll skip the confirmation when chipped. We'll have the suggestions and verse of the day. And then, yeah, a lot of things are going to be done now. So let's see how long this takes. 8:32. Perfect. Now let's go back to our prompts. So it says shape artwork screen should be displayed when the image tool is selected in the plus menu or when regenerate prompt is selected to explicitly. Okay, we'll kind of keep it simple like this. We'll do that in the future. I don't think we'll do that today. Let's see. So we want to extract all photos. Want to fix this tool calling. We'll optimize routing the tool call in the future. Add to memory. That's the last one. By Sarah Baby. So for this, what we'll say is we'll consolidate. Okay, so already have add to memory. So when someone says, let's see how do we do it. So if someone's on an image, I'll pull up my chat again. So if someone says that they're on an image, and then let's say they click the save to gallery button or save. Okay, so maybe what we can do is we can consolidate all. Consolidate. Save to gallery. Save to MyPraise gallery into one button. Show a sub. Also add an option to add to memory. Now this is key because what we're saying is one, we want to add to memory. We want the selections to be added to the memory using the existing frameworks. Now, I don't know how the AI is going to choose which ones to use, but we have a few already in the system. It will just be there to make sure that it doesn't go rogue and just end up breaking things. So let's see how's this looking. So this is still going. We started this at 8:31, so only 5 minutes, not bad. What else do we have? So as this is going, what I can do now is we can just start doing some coding. I've been really enjoying Grok 4.5. That's been working very well. I may use Fable here and there. Let's kind of see what we're looking at. This is cool. Sync your chats and continue with them in cursor. Okay. Interesting. I can import my stuff, so let's sync it. Um, so now what we'll do though is, let's see, our first task that we'll do as our design system is cooking. Is we're going to enable the extract of all photos and multi-select. All right. So it's great that you can just kind of do this in the background. Like you're thinking about your main feature that you want to, go live with, that you want to ship. That's always going to take time. So what we can do in the meantime is we can, start planning for other features that can be done in tangential. So right now I'm going to keep this here. One day I'll go through kind of how I do coding more, especially when it comes to some of the prompts and methodologies that I keep in mind. But yeah, other people like to do certain things. I like to keep mine very simple. I let the agent kind of decide what to do with the information I give it. So we're gonna have that kind of cook for a while. Um, Let me actually also do something. Ask questions to confirm design. And sometimes, especially when it comes to these like big changes of the UI, you always want to say ask questions because it's not a human, so it doesn't know what you really want. All right, so as this is cooking, let's look at what we wanted to showcase. There's a few videos that I saw today that really caught my eye. How Jensen Huang built in the video, that's going to be cool. Productivity is hard until you build systems like this. They're pretty cool. But I do want to watch this one. Start here.
When Christ redeemed you, he didn't just save you from something, he saved you to do something. Look at what redemption actually handed to you. A beautiful, glorious destiny, right? The children of God are predestined. Those whom he predestined, he called. The ones he called, he justified. And the ones he justified, he glorified. It's a powerful, beautiful destiny. You are a child of promise like Isaac, the man who sowed in a time of famine and reaped 100-fold. And the Bible says his enemies
Oh, wow. You're going to be like Isaac? My name is
justified. And the ones he justified, he glorified. It's a powerful, beautiful destiny. You are a child of promise like Isaac, the man who sowed in a time of famine and reaped 100-fold. And the Bible says his enemies envied him, not pitied him.
All right, so what I'd love to do as well is let me just summarize this, guys.
Envied him. It was such a beautiful royal destiny. And we read in the scriptures this.
I guess actually I can show you guys one cool thing that's coming out soon. It's not out yet, but I am working on this on the back. A Mac version of MyPraise app. So what I want to do is actually I want to track this. I want to capture some notes.
This destiny is where God, out of every nation, he made you and I priests and kings who will reign on the earth. So what does this mean? What is this royal bloodline flowing through your veins? This belonging to royalty. It is who you have been made.
Okay, perfect. Let me pause this. I heard that this has a question for me. Extract all photos. Replacing expand the full screen button in the artwork row. What should tapping it do? Open the sheet showing every generated image across the whole chat with multi-select, then save photos at the gallery. Perfect. Yes. Which images should the extract feature include? Okay. Perfect. So yeah, pretty much what it's going to do here is going to open up the sheet, showing every generated message across the whole chat. So I can use multi-select and I can save the photos, add to gallery, and share the selection, which is perfect. This one's going to show the generated artwork only, including all versions per message. That's good. Um, we'll see if that's too much. I can always pull that back. So, because I really just want to focus on the ones that you select, not every version, unless you actually save it. So we'll see how far that goes. Um, yeah, this one it says, how do we want to default? We'll default to praise. Keep the party popper icon. Okay. For conversation, we'll do a new thread containing the history, including the message, then continue from there. Yep. So we don't want to duplicate the whole entire chat. That is going to eat up memory. We'll just use, just the context that we need. Uh, and then for regenerate image, yeah, we'll open up the artwork brief card. So today's behavior, so I can adjust the type, style, prompt before regenerating. Perfect. Let's click next. Oh, were there more questions? Okay. So this is cooking. Now let's see how this is looking. It looks like this is almost done. It looks like it does something. It's taking some time to render. Okay, we'll come back to you. Okay. Still thinking. I'm just getting antsy. I want to see how this looks. All right, this now has an action plan. So for this player, it says all UI changes will live in okay. It's extract photo sheet, replaces full screen button and artwork row. Okay. Okay. Not bad, not bad. One thing I would always suggest is use Graphify. This is the best way to just continue. I'm sure everyone's hearing about graph coding, loop engineering, all that. I just use Graphify. That way, you just kind of have like a visual view of all the different things that your system does. Obviously, mine is crazy, but the AI can at least interact with it and kind of get a better understanding of where your app is without having to produce too much context. So let's see. System chat prototype. This is still taking a long time to load. I don't know if it's because it's a MacBook Air or something, but this is getting crazy. Let me check Claude Design here. I did it build a trailer. Okay. I like this. Ooh. Okay. So if you do it, kind of does it like this. This is very nice. Mm. Okay. I think I already have a skill for this actually. And now what I'm telling it to do is pretty much it came up with the system. Now I want it to give me a prompt with all the files to implement this in MyPraise app. It's a little crazy that it's not like loading on the app. Cool. All right, so as this is loading, let's see what this is doing. It's working. Right now it's on step 5 of 6. So it's going to add the fork conversation up to, that's what it looks like it's working on. And a split regenerate image at the same prompt, okay. And what's great, guys, is that once you have a plan and you have kind of have everything kind of just set up, it's just set it and forget it. Okay, now it's updating Graphify. So I should be able to close this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try running this. See the damage. It's the one thing that's painful. I cracked my Mac screen, so unfortunately I don't have the beefy MacBook Pro. This will do. Because what I'm trying to do is I just want to run the app. One thing I'm going to be getting soon, guys, is a new chair. Let me actually look through that as we're looking through this. We'll come back to this video. And we're going to be vibe coding and browsing for new things at the same time. Office. Share. 100 plus pound capacity. Gotta need it for the big boys. Okay. Only 190. Not bad, not bad. Okay. So now it's created the MD for me. So what I can do is I can just copy and paste this into my cursor. Okay. And I'm trying to find my AI stuff. Okay. So it's in documents. It's in my vault. Yeah, it's an AI artifact. Let me put this guy as a favorite. Okay. So it's got it here. Good. So now what I need to do is I come over here and create a new chat window. I'm going to come to my MD, copy my handout file. Do this. I always start in Fable. I should do cursor 4.5. Let me see my usage. Guys, we don't want to be token maxing these days. Okay, 476. Get another change. Let's stick with Grok. Grok has been pretty good. Those will now also include link in plan mode. I'll also include the files. I love that sound. That means that things are cooking. Okay, so the Assistant Action Row has been redesigned. I'm going to use my phone to do the test. You guys can watch it with me. There's always a moment of truth. It's emails. Mind you, there's still just one feature. I want to finish on this one, the one from Sarah. I'm trying to get that one done today. This is idea in. Perfect. Forgot to say ask questions. So one thing that we did recently is we enabled the splash screens. Yeah, saying that it's not working, but that's fine. We can just close it. We can reopen it. Okay, and so far nothing's changed here, right? We know that. Let's see if anything's changed here. Awesome. Much cleaner. So what we did over here was we made extract all photos, multi-select, replacing the full screen image with the action. So if I click this, awesome. You can see that I can select, add to MyPraise gallery, add to photos. Oh, you guys can't see it. Let's see. So what we're testing here is we're testing the multi-select. Here you can see I had two images before. I can select them, deselect, reselect. I can add to the gallery. I can share them. Share them with my wifey. Look at that. Perfect. So this one I'll say is a check. Consolidate praise and prayer actions into one. Okay. So that was last time you saw two icons. Now you just see kind of one. This praise icon here. So if I click this opens up the praise. Perfect. Awesome. I can love my praises and prayers. Fantastic. Okay. What else do we want to do? I can use this. Okay, so I said remove the regenerate icon because I can use this. Perfect. Regenerates there. Add an option to fork. I don't see fork. And maybe because it's a new, let's click this. Maybe because it's a new chat window. So we'll try that again. Final one is regenerate images. Let's look at this. So if I click regenerate, same prop, regenerate. Okay, perfect. So it didn't remove the other icon, but we can ask it to remove it. Okay. So what we can do is we can remove the art icon since the regenerate does both now. So this looks like it works. This looks like it works. This one doesn't work. Okay. Now there should be something called add to memory. Okay. What do I add to memory? So drop plus settings plus existing history expand to cover the rest. Let's just say 2C. So pretty much you're saying, what do you want to do with these that weren't necessarily part of the original scope? We're just going to have it drop into the other section, which is fine. But what I want to do is I want to be able to regenerate the image. Let's go back to what we did over here. We'll start the build. And let's see how this is working. So far, it's much faster so far, which is actually really nice. Fantastic. Okay. I don't see add to memory. Okay, so I think I know what we need to do. We'll remove these additional icons that we don't need anymore. So that's what we'll do over here. And there's one more. Okay, so never mind. That's the reason why I didn't have that prompt. So okay, so that's probably why I did it separately, which is fine. Because now what I can do is I can edit now. So what I'll say is add to memory, consolidate. Okay. Actually, what is this using? Okay, this is using Grok. Good. This one's going to be cooking for a while, I can imagine. Where's the plan? It's not too many steps in the plan. Okay. So we'll come back here. I don't see add option for fork yet. So we'll come back to that. This one's working right now. This one we don't need. Okay, perfect. Let's rerun this. I'd be surprised if it actually works because it looks like there's a bunch of new files. Usually that's going to cause some issues. And I'm literally watching the agent update this real time. Very cool. We've been streaming for 2 hours now, almost done. Thank you for staying, guys. So we'll see what this plan does. If it's this confused, then what should the action do? Two, what should it do? It should attach and link to a current memory. So that's 2 is equal to A. 3, UX shape, nested submenu, or full sheet screen like today's linked memories. We'll say A. And then 4, framework to reuse. I don't want to use suggested memories yet because right now that's still using more statistics, less agentic. Oh. We may do an expose one day. Let's see. Add to gallery. Looks like this is now looking good. This is still cooking. Okay. We'll try to build it, see if it's going to work. A lot of things are happening in the background. As we're doing this, let's look at some office chairs. There's one thing that I need a new office chair. Kind of really like this. Well, this is saying something's done. Well, looks like it's saying 2 things are done. The final thing that's waiting is just the. I think I can mark this one as complete. One of the things I was just pointing out is just the major rework. Or I wouldn't say rework, but the major feature that we're launching today. Revamped MyPraise Assistant. Let's see how this looks, God. Excited. In the meantime, let's continue looking at chairs. I used to eat big bread like myself, sitting on one of these to trust it. Don't trust it yet. That's why you can tell if it's something that's going to be heavy duty. Look at the legs. That looks like a tank. This one, yeah, I don't know if that's going to support my weight. I need something like this, just stainless steel. Something like this. Looks like it belongs in the Mack truck. Yeah, like this. Yeah, this looks heavy duty. Okay. All right, where we at here, guys? Looks like everything's done. What I can do now is I'll close Xcode, I'll reopen it. This is usually how you get rid of any kind of lingering compilation issues. Let's read what it did. So implementing MyPraise Assistant chat redesign per the plan. Okay. Now here's the thing, guys. I don't know how to code, so I'm not going to read the code, but I can tell it did something. So it's saying that I think the key piece is redesign is implemented end-to-end. Xcode is available or changed. Empty home. Okay. Standard avatar and greeting. Date seated verse change. Okay. Few suggestion pills. Okay. Got it. Yeah, consolidated those 13 tools into 8. I like that. Artwork brief gains card intended use. HITL means human in the loop. One of my favorite things to use. User chipped high impact tools, skip confirmation, model proposed, still confirmed. Okay. Perfect. All right. This looks good, guys. Here's a moment of truth. Does the app launch or does it bomb? We shall see. As this is loading, looking at chairs. All right, let's see. Yeah, so one compilation error, which is not terrible. Invalid redeclaration of flow layout. I could fix this, but I'm not going to. I want to say I could fix it. I can't fix it. I'm gonna let the AI fix it. I'm gonna keep on vibing, finding a new chair. Okay. This one's a gonzo. This one's a gonzo. This one's looking good. This one looks nice and sturdy. Yeah, give me the one that says 700 pounds, please. The legs, you think that they look good, but I don't trust it. Mm, let's see. Yeah, like it always messes up on this. It always makes it private when it's ready to be, shared. There's going to be dependencies on it. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's see, this didn't launch. Okay, some more issues. See if this works. Usually, if Xcode can fix it, then yeah, there's going to be other issues. Yeah, this is like the third time I've gotten one of these issues. So something's up where this context just needs to be completely rewritten, it seems. All this is expected, especially when you're doing a big feature like redesigning an entire screen. So let's see how much Grok uses, especially in such a complex task like this. Yeah, like only $10. Okay, let's see if this works now. Almost done. Okay, looks like it worked. Let's do some testing together, folks. Oh, there it is. There it is, folks. Look at this. There it is. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's a little buggy, but it's definitely a lot better than before. Let's click the plus. Look at that. With the icons, praise memory as a chip. Prayer, artwork, and cards. And it comes up with the shape if I want. Let's try generate an image of Psalms 23. The one thing that's awkward though is that the enter icon is below the other image. Let's see how this works. So I'm asking it to generate an image. Let's see if it's able to. Okay. Okay, very nice. There it is. It's definitely a lot more cleaner. More work to do on kind of like the background and just giving some more I won't say transparency. What's the word called? Legibility. What's a response versus the background? Well, that I think it looks good. Let's see. I'm almost done. Let me see if I can save this to a memory. So save this to artwork. Let's see. Awesome, y'all. Well, that being said, it looks like we have removed the toolbar. Definitely did that. We've done a lot of work today. We didn't get a chance to go through the testing, but you know how we like to do testing at the end of when we're done. So I'll do that offline. But with that being said, thank you for everyone who joined the call today, and hope you have a blessed week. Take care.